Hello, comrades. I'm Ozzy. I'm with the Young Communists of Belgium and Red Radio. I will talk about Pink Floyd and more specifically their song Goodbye Blue Sky, as I think it's a very relevant song. We'll listen to it to uncover its history and talk about its relevance, and how Roger Waters' background played into the song and his current involvement in the Palestinian struggle. We find the song on their iconic double album called The Wall from 1979. The London-based band at the time had Nick Mason, David Gilmour, Richard Wright, and Roger Waters. The latter was the mind behind the song Goodbye Blue Sky. The song starts with the singing of a skylark and the sound of approaching airplanes. A child notices the airplane and says,
"Look, Mummy, there's an airplane up in the sky."
This was voiced by Roger Waters' 2-year-old son. This is followed by vocals and the humming of a synthesizer with a similar sound to an airplane.
Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? Did you ever wonder why we had to run for shelter when the promise of a brave new world unfurled beneath the clear blue sky? Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? The flames are all long gone, but the pain lingers on. Goodbye, blue sky. Goodbye, blue sky. Goodbye. Goodbye.
As the lyrics suggest, this song is about the Blitzkrieg, the relentless Nazi bombing campaign on the United Kingdom. Many songs by Pink Floyd and especially by Waters are World War II themed, such as When the Tigers Broke Free and The Post-War Dream. But what's the story behind it all, and how can we link it to the current struggles? Roger Waters was born in England during the Second World War as the second child of Mary White and Eric Fletcher Waters. His father Eric was the son of a coal miner and labor activist. Eric followed in his footsteps by becoming a member of the Communist Party. In his day-to-day life, he was a school teacher and devout Christian. In other words, he knew the literal and figurative class struggle. When World War II broke out, Eric refused his military service and instead worked as an ambulance driver during the Blitzkrieg. After witnessing the horrors of Nazi bombings, he changed his stances on pacifism and signed up to fight fascism. 5 days after his son Roger was born, he was commissioned into the 8th Battalion of the Royal Fusiliers as a second lieutenant. He was killed by the fascist forces in Italy 5 months later on the 18th of February 1944 at Aprilia during the Battle of Anzio. Roger never had any memories of his dad, though his father will always stay alive in Roger's soul. The rage his father felt for fascism that made him sign up to fight still lingers on in Roger when witnessing the horrors of the Zionist occupation of Palestine. His father fought to liberate Europe, so all could be free from the shackles of fascism. He fought against anti-Semitism so Jews could remain in their homelands. However, the forces of Western imperialism in post-war Europe only sought to further expand the settler colony in Palestine. Today, 76 years after the Nakba, after more than a century of Zionist occupation, Roger stands with the Palestinian people as a voice for their liberation. The fascism that killed his father, the ideology that obeys capital and the capitalist war machine still exists today. Zionist forces in occupied Palestine are waging a full-scale genocide. They bomb their infrastructure, schools, mosques and hospitals. Palestinians in Gaza are left without housing, with nowhere to go, with families broken and shattered. There is no place where they are safe. Whether they follow the orders of the occupier or not, they are being led like lambs to the slaughter. On the night of the 26th of May, the Zionist occupation forces dropped 6 bombs on a tent camp of displaced Palestinians. More than 45 people got killed. The sight of beheaded children, the thought of people burning to death in their tents, children left without mothers and fathers left without children. These blitzkrieg scenarios, the inhumane conditions, are supported by Europe, which was once upon a time the victim of relentless bombings itself. Roger Waters' father didn't die for us to just sit there watching a genocide on our screens and not feel an urge to fight against it. So let us stand with Palestine and with Roger Waters. So one day, these children will no longer have to grow up in fear, will no longer lose their dads or mothers. It is up to us to pressure all companies and institutions that aid the brutal occupation forces. It is up to us to strengthen the Students' Intifada, to support the encampments so our education may soon no longer be at the cost of Palestinian lives. So let me repeat to you with some adjustments. Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? Did you ever wonder why they had to run for shelter when the promise of a safer place was only a deceptive lie? Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? The flames are all long gone, but the pain lingers on. Goodbye, night sky. Goodbye, night sky. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? Did you ever wonder why we had to run for shelter when the promise of a brave new world unfurled beneath the clear blue sky? Did you see the frightened ones? Did you hear the falling bombs? The flames are all long gone, but the pain lingers on. Goodbye, blue sky. Goodbye, blue sky. Goodbye. Goodbye.
The court considered that, in conformity with the obligation under the Genocide Convention, Israel must immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah government